Hey, it's me. I forgot that I tell you about this. I forgot to mention by the beginning of December. I watched Avatar 3, Fire and Ash. And I apologize for not telling you this because, well, I didn't have time to tell you anything because I was spending time with my family and we were watching that movie while watching my family. And I got a funny story before we continue on, talking about Avatar 3, Fire and Ash. It's a real laughing stock here. And probably this isn't something embarrassing, but it's kind of pretty funny, I guess. So I'll tell you a part of it. So when we were the entire family were getting ready to watch Avatar: Fire and Ash, I was left behind to lock the doors and close the windows and turn out the power with my cousin because my cousin was there too, and we invited him to watch Avatar: Fire and Ash. While we were driving to watch Avatar: Fire and Ash, it was immediately raining, like pouring down rain there, like the entirety of the clouds just took a piss down on Earth and like just sprayed me with all the water it can get from the ocean there. I really went zooming there and while I was trying to find a parking space, I was literally soaking wet except for the back of my pants because I was riding a motorcycle and only the top part of my pants was wet. But my entire body was really sweaty. I am more sweaty than a Reddit monitor when he's trying to find nonsense to make fun of himself, to be funny in front of everybody so nobody knows that he was a pedophile. Anyways, when I made it to the theater, I was soaking wet and I immediately went to the bathroom and the movie was almost about to start. So I immediately go inside of the bathroom and then just squeeze the entirety of my shirt just to make sure it dries, and then I didn't have the idea of putting it in the air thingy where you can use it for your hands. I don't know what that called, the super blowtorch gun or something, whatever. I immediately just squeeze the entirety of the water right there. I get a bit of, comfort while wearing it. It was still wet, but I managed it anyways. So I went there to the theater right on time. The movie was about to start, and the AC was just blasted. I was shivering the whole time watching the entire movie. It was like I couldn't stand it. I was really cold there, but I managed to hold it. The movie really was great. It wasn't in 3D, but I really felt how cold the water was. Yeah, so the whole time I was freezing in the theaters, just watching Avatar, Fire and Ash. And I know because, most of it, the entire movie was supposed to be water. I was freezing. It was like, whoa, the realism. It's amazing. I'm freezing to death. And bada bing, bada boom, we're in the present, and it was a very memorable time there of me, getting wet to watch Avatar: Fire and Ash. I didn't know why I wasn't wet while I was watching Avatar: The Way of Water. But anyways, yeah, that's the whole story. It is. Avatar: Fire and Ash. Did I like it? Was it a good movie? Yes, actually, it was pretty good. Now, I am some kind of a big fan of Avatar series. Yes, The Legend of Aang also. And I didn't think that people say that, it didn't bring a big impact to the modern culture world. And I understand, nobody does some kind of weird. I do know some Avatar references in some TV shows, but I understand people saying that it doesn't bring significant cultural impact to the 21st century, and I don't care. It's a good movie. James Cameron can put how many movies that causes CGI how much it wants. They're pretty good, and they're 3-hour-long movies, and it's a really great universe about it. And I don't understand the meanings of all. With that being said, Avatar: Fire and Ash, the third movie, did not receive the amount of love as much as it needed to be great, because Avatar: Way of Water was pretty great, and if I ever review that, I give it an 8.5 out of 10. This movie is just as good as Avatar 1. So it is a bit of balance in here between Avatar 1 and Avatar 2 is right here. Avatar: Fire and Ash were just slightly above them, and I can understand why. If we're going to continue this with the 5 and the 5, this will take more than a few minutes. This will take another 3 hours. So I'm just gonna simplify what do I like and what do I don't like. I think we'll do the simpler things. let's cover the bad things, because there are some bad things in the movie that makes it, complicated and really understandable why it's not getting as much as they need for the next Avatar movie. So the first one of all is obviously is the thing. It's a safe movie, which I mean is almost everything seems similar here to most of the fights, the capturing, the plot line. It's a very simple and very stable plot line. But the most important of all is just it doesn't cover much about the fire and ash aspect. That's one of my big issues with the movie, because the movie is called Fire and Ash, not Avatar: The Way of Water 2. The entirety was just mostly about spoilers. I'm gonna get to spoilers. I forgot. Please forgive me for spoilers. The entire family of Jake Sully and Neytiri, Loak, and Kiri, and everybody knows Spider. They were just doing the same things as back in The Way of Water, kind of. And there are some good times, but it just doesn't explore fire and ash much. There were some. It just shows tradition and also that location and stuff. It just doesn't explore as much on the fire and ash aspect of the ash people. And I really do like the ash people. The ash people are like these people who are, well, usually the regular Na'vi, but then one day a huge volcano erupts, so they call for Awa for help. But Awa just shoves up the people, and since they didn't get Awa's help, they decided we don't need Awa anyways, so we abandoned Awa. We're the anti-Awa, I guess. Sorry, that was really cold there. I mean, I really forgot to keep pausing this thing. But anyways, yeah, going back to the, I guess I should continue on with the spider arc. No, the spider arc is really good. But the thing is about the spider arc is that there's a whole thing of, during the second movie where they talk about you don't need to be a blue 7-foot tall alien with a ponytail and a weird tail to be a part of the Na'vi people. But then Kiri, because Spider was about to die, Kiri uses magic Awa powers and makes Spider breathe air, breathe the same lungs. He even has his own, I think it's called a tail or something. I don't know. He has his own ponytail where he can connect to Bluetooth devices of animals and connects to the spirit tree. Wasn't the whole point is it doesn't matter that the important thing is you should, be if you respect the people culture and blah blah blah, and you're one of the people, you don't have to be a part of Awa if you're beloved. Okay, I guess that's so. But I really just think that this movie was just a movie for not Fire and Ash, just Way of the Water 2. It still explores the same thing. It's still in the same thing. It's the same place. It doesn't explore anymore because I thought there would be more stuff. Like for examples, the trade route people with their giant blimps. That was pretty cool. I wish we could get to know more of them. And I don't know why they just continuing on the Manqua people, the Ash people, the Manqua. They were really good. And I guess that's most of my complaints about there. There's nothing much to say about the bad stuff. There are some bad stuff. Like obviously there's some bad stuff about Avatar: Way of Water. Alright, now that it's settled, let's move on to the good parts. The big 5 parts is obviously the music. Really good music. I really like the Monko raid songs, like during the raid, whatever. The stunning effects visual is obviously really great. James Cameron CGI, whoever works with the CGI group there, really great. You guys doing a good job. I hope you guys are doing well, get paid well, and get to see your families. Unlike like Bandai Namco Animation Studios, where they forcibly put a gun onto the animator's head. None of that. I hope you guys are having a good day at adding the CGI effects and everything. It's just so beautiful. It looks so realistic, especially when the water and the vines. It looks great. Now, there's the things I do want to. Now, I wasn't complaining, but it just looks weird. When I was at the movie, I felt like the time. So this is another thing I saw. Where everyone's moving. It felt like a video game. Everyone just. It looks like the theater, like I'm watching a video game cutscene. Or maybe because it was just really smooth of how they moved the CGI. But there was another scene when another spoilers. Hold on, I'm getting into this. When porridge, which mixed with the sage of the Makwa people, the Sahik Varang, he drugs them with cocaine or something. Sorry, he drugs them with a special powder, and then the illusion starts to, and then it does kind of looks like a video game cutscene, which I don't know. It's because it was really smooth. I think it was pretty smooth, but it was really really funny looking. It was good, and it was just really funny looking. I want to talk now. Now there's some other good parts here. The action, the fight scenes are great. However, even though the fight scenes are really great, there are some things I see. There are some similar things, like similar, playbacks. Like I understand because I know that James Cameron also did this in the Avatar: Way of Water. He does get some scenes from the first Avatar movie, like for example, where Neytiri shot his bow and like it was really good. However, it is also the same scene. I got myself a bow. Don't worry, it does not shoot. He also did the same scenes with like that back in Avatar 1. And it also uses the same shot in Avatar 3, which also the same with the Metcalina people when they were diving, and then Tonawari, his name is Tonawari, the chief of the Metcalina. He also did the same things, and it was just a lot of things that I saw that I obviously wasn't hidden enough to know that it was the same clips over and over again. There's nothing wrong. They even add some new stuff like Neytiri using a bow RPG, which I like that. It's really great. I also forget to mention one bad thing. Here's just a little jump scene here. Every time there is a fight scene it involves with Jake's kids like Tuk or Kiri or Neteyam or Spider or anyone getting captured, and it is kind of weird that kids getting captured, and this happens almost all the time with the Mongol Raiders when when the kids were getting captured, and then they were captured by Courage. It was like keeping over and over all the time. It even goes much into Spider's character. He got kidnapped once too and in prison. Like, can we have a fight scene that doesn't involve your kids getting kidnapped? For a guy who said that our family is our fortress, you're really letting people in your fortress and stealing your stuff there. Maybe you should, I don't know, hire a bodyguard or a sitter or something to protect your kids. I know you can, but you're definitely not going to be there all the time. And one other thing I don't like. Obviously, as a somewhat weaponist, I do see the Mongol Raiders bows. So a regular bow is pretty normal right here, right? You see, it's just regular bow. You shoot it and then you hold it out. But the Mongol people, the Ash people, has like a double bow, like an X, like this, for examples. And I don't know how do you shoot like that? I don't know. Maybe it's something they're really, I don't know. Who cares? But they are using spears, and I understand. I like the whole entirety of the Mongol Raiders, even though it's just a little bit of scene. So let's start with that. The good thing about the Mongol, the Ash people. I like everything about the Mongol, about their face mask, inspired by like indigenous people in Papua. I like most of their backstories, because the reason why they become raiders, the Mongol Raiders, because there's nothing growing in their land, so they revolt to stealing, and they also like burn everything. Everything must turn to ash. And I also like their weapons. They're just ash, the wooden spears. They're basically nothing else to make. They don't barely even have knives because, well, there's no resources. Everything must be stolen by them because they don't have anything. I like how everything about the Mongol, including Varang. I think Varang is an absolute villain. The humans are also villains here. And I know people who defend humanity. Yeah, but the humans are good guys. And I don't know I don't know what the heck is that argument that good guys that we steal people's resources and take over a planet. Typical human things, whatever. I like Varang because he's very sinister, but he's not crazy sinister. Like he's evil all the time. She's also calculative and manipulative. As an example, she can already saw the sniper the moment when Koresh said, "Shoot him," and then he dies, and then Varang immediately saw the sniper. Obviously, she can't do anything about it, but you know how she can, once he got shot, he can saw the sniper. Right? It's a pretty cool thing that she can do. And I like how she makes a deal with Quaritch as well. I think, yes, I see the memes where Quaritch and Varang is that one couple's like the very conservative guy with the girl who doesn't like, who's indigenous, boyfriend, girlfriend, I don't care. I think they're a really good couple. Two psychos are meant together. I think that's a beautiful thing. Varang teaches Quaritch about like fire destruction and whatever, and Quaritch is the supplier. I'm pretty sure it's just a transactional thing, I guess. I don't know. 100% sure it's transactional, but I see them actually pretty in love. Even Quaritch went far as to defending Varang when the general said these people need to get out of here. They look ugly as AF. And it was like, hey, how do you cut them some slack? We couldn't have done that without them. We couldn't have done this without them. Maybe give them a little thank you card or something, a little appreciation. And I like that, and I like how he defends Varang for what she's not allowed to say to the general or anything. And I like when they did the ponytail thingy. Yeah, I know they did the ponytail thingy a few times, definitely a few times. Spider 2.0 coming through, man. I like the whole scene. He even wears the face paint in his entire tradition. Yeah, that's a level of respect. You know how much respect when a man, respects your culture and become part of it. While I'm fixing this bowl, let me try to tell you something about other good things, like Spider's arc, the Spider arc. The human that Quaritch is somewhat son, I guess. Now he's a really good character because back in the second movie he wasn't that very much impactful. He was there as a leverage and he was very important but he was still captured by Quaritch as well. He is still captured in this movie too, but not too long. So anyways, I like how the story of them, even though he was like super charged or super made into breathing Awa's air or breathing the air of Pandora, is a little bit weird to me, but I'll be fine with it. The next one of all is, I like how important he is to Jake and to Neytiri. Well, not to Neytiri. Neytiri changes and learns to love Spider because obviously Neytiri isn't the biggest fan to sky people, aka humans, but now because he sees him as his son and how much love Jake gives it to him and how he's, hey, not all humans are bad, and it's kind of true. And then Neytiri sees that and it's like, no, I really didn't want to kill him. Which is one of the greatest parts in the movie. I think I want to tell you. Maybe no one agrees with me, but when the moment they save Spider, and then Neytiri talks alone to him and is like, hey, I think people are starting to find out how are they gonna make Spider as an experiment. If they can breathe our air, they're just gonna continue breathing air and then continue to build their factories again and again. We gotta kill him. He's dead. He's done so. We gotta kill him. It's okay, Neytiri. I'll do it myself. And then they bring spiders into like this woods, and like Jake is like, "Hey, come here." Yeah, come here without a knife in pocket. Actually, no, he didn't. He didn't kill Spider. That's sorry if you guys obviously thought it was that because if you didn't watch the movie. Here, get spoilers. Jake decided to not kill him when he was in the forest. He was going to. It's literally like Abraham when he bring him to like the giant mountain when he's about to kill his son or about to sacrifice his son. It is something like that. Like he has to do it because it is important for the humans not to know how to breathe their air in here and must stop their progression to destroy Pandora, as I may say. But then the thing is that Spider agrees to this because he knows it is important too, and he says, "Well, I'll be with Awa," and it's like, "Oh yeah, do you love me?" And then he does loves him. He absolutely loves him all heart. that the reason why he loves him because he must change the fate of humans, how to get into Earth, get into Pandora, which is actually one of my favorite things, I guess. There's also the Loak scene, which I also do like, when Tulkun, there was this Tulkun meeting with the matriarch. It was great to seeing the Tulkun again, I guess, because they were in the final battle, and the council was pretty. The Tulkun council, I guess it was pretty wise and also pretty stupid, I guess. Not really. They decided that they were going to war because they look at Payakan's sister or his relatives. They was attacked by the Sky People, but he was being shot at with harpoons. So the council of Wales, let's just say the council of Wales, did agree, and then you go to battle, and Loak becomes a responsible kid and finds his way. It's one of those teenagers needs to find themselves in their path type of arc, which is really great. I do kind of like that arc, and he does get the approval of Jake. He is the oldest son. Another thing I don't like here, everyone gets here involved, even the kids like Aonung, like Tonawari's son, Aonung from the sea people. Aonung, Toshuria, and the other kid with the crazy afro hair. They're also involved here. But the other one who wasn't involved here too much is Took. I get that he's a kid, but he's also just another leverage again. That's all he does. Just be leveraged or something. But he is cute and he is funny, but that's, oh no, because he's just a kid. What I'm trying to say is the entire thing, the story was great. Even there is some things like, if you don't know, that Spider and Kiri are together and they kiss and wow, it's beautiful. And we finally get to see the romance build. It was slow, but it was perfect. The story and how they say it's really great, especially when they try to tell that courage that Jake says like, "Hey, you don't have to do this. Connect with me, brother." And it's like, "Nah, I'm not gay. Get that thing away from me." No. You do understand. Just touch this thing and you will understand. Nah, I'm not gay. I'm not gay. No, what I meant to say was he was trying to connect me. So it's like, hey, there's a whole new world that you do not understand the reason. This place is beautiful and the Earth sucks. And there's so many things that are really good here. I understand why the movie was, not really that much rated, but there were lots of new memes in here, like Courage and Varang. I understand why it doesn't get that much, like by critics, even though critics are so weird. They give like, I don't know, the Lego movie or like the Boss Baby movie. I don't know which one they give like mad reviews. What I'm trying to say is that it is a good movie. There are a lot of great things about it. I really want to talk about. Let's start with that, with Courage's funny words. Like, I like Courage here. He was very funny, especially when the time he gets high, the time when he was the time he was really awkward with Jake. The fight scene, when the final battle was pretty great, and the time that he has time when she's with Varang and with the other Manqua people. And there was also, we get to see Awa the first time. It kind of looks human to me, I don't know, but I think it's because that's Kiri's perspective. Anything else is the time when Neytiri was smart enough to how to infiltrate the human colony and to save Jake. That was pretty cool. He uses the RPG arrows, was pretty cool. I like the Manqua Raiders. They look scary and fearful, especially that one time when Varang tells like one Manqua Raider to hold a bag of, I don't know, maybe oil or something, and then he shoots with the fire and says, "I am the fire!" He shoots the arrow, and the guy in the Manqua just turns into a kamikaze bomb and blows up the giant thingy-mabob, the giant air balloon. It was pretty cool. And I really like that, and I like how when Na'vi uses modern weapons. I know they can't touch metal and stuff, but I want to see more of it because they need to adapt it somehow. Everything there is great, especially the team bonding, the Tulkun, everything there. It's just, sadly, it was just an easy story to say, and also a story that was still in the Way of Water and not exploring much of Fire and Ash and the world of Avatar. Well, that's everything I had to say about this movie. If I would rate it now, I would give it a 7, solid 7, just a 7 out of 10, no 7.5. The first Avatar movie was probably a 7.5, almost close to 8. The second movie was 8 to 5. I think I would give it a solid 7.5 if I was, if I tell you more things that what I liked about it. If you guys watch it, just go watch it. Go ahead. It's your choice if you want to watch the movie or not. I think it's really great. It's probably a bit better than the first Avatar, than the first Avatar. Avatar Way of Water is way better though. The visuals and everything, the way to learn. Even though it is a bit of repetitive, the same thing. I saw a lot of memes about it, or a lot of jokes about it. But it was a great movie. Solid 7, and I think it's a 7 out of 10. That's all I have to say about that movie. May Awa bless you or something. Yeah.